The sirens won't stop. It's been 24 hours. By Big Ol' Brew. I'm not referring to police sirens, ambulance sirens, or anything of that sort. That would be preferable at this point. It's been about 24 odd hours since the civil defence sirens began their shrill, deafening roar, waking up my entire city. It's omnipresent, forever signalling some sort of attack, some sort of assault on the city. A sleepy, medium-sized Midwestern town whose only claim to recognition is having an above-average obesity rate. But worse yet, there isn't a single news story on the matter. Not even so much as a comment from the local news station or my nosy neighbours on Twitter. The sirens picked up around 5 a.m. last night, jolting me from my already less than peaceful slumber. My neighbour, something of a kook mind you, seemed to have been screaming in the early morning hours. My initial reaction was that the sirens were a mistake, a sort of false alarm, akin to what happened over in Hawaii years prior. Within minutes, I got a myriad of concerned texts from my neighbours and acquaintances, including the hectic group chat between myself and my perpetually misinformed boomer neighbours. A twister, maybe? I don't remember reading about rain. Ain't no twister. Are you stupid? It's probably the Chinese. Damn it, Jim. Ain't no Chinese gonna bomb. Nothing of value here. I began to develop an agonizing migraine about 15 minutes into the siren song, likely only exacerbated by the incoherent musings of my social circle. I went to walk outside for a bit of relief, but right before my sweaty palm touched the doorknob to walk out, a new notification came across my phone screen. Emergency alert. Tornado warning in this area till 5:45 a.m. CDT. Stay away from windows and take shelter now. Check local media. NWS. I paused and walked back to my kitchen, a little bit puzzled. We hadn't received any thunderstorms lately, had we? I'd have known. In fact, shit, I'd definitely have known. I work with the National Weather Service. What the fuck? We didn't send this notification. My mind began to wander, trying to rationalize this alert and the sirens that seemed to only be amplifying. I hurried onto my laptop and plugged in the link to the ongoing Doppler radar. I was correct. No storms within a 200-mile radius. Understandably a little freaked out, I phoned a co-worker of mine at the NWS, who I hoped was working graveyard. I just prayed we hadn't made an error that scared the living bejesus out of our town.
Hey, Craig,
he answered. Yeah, look man, did we send that alert? The sirens are freaking everybody out. The tornado alert. Everything. What happened? He paused for a second and seemed to mutter something under his breath. Something to the effect of,
"Their muffin."
That can't be right.
Listen,
he picked back up.
We found a credible threat of severe weather, and the local authorities were then notified to authorise the sirens.
I scoffed and picked back up the phone. What the fuck are you talking about? What severe weather? These sirens, they're... oh my god, they're obnoxious. Can the boss give the local... whatever, the call for the local authorities to just shut them off?
This is out of my control, Craig.
What?
Just stay inside. Please, just stay inside. There's a credible threat.
With that, the line abruptly cut out. My phone played back that shrill, automated message of,
"We're sorry. The person you're trying to reach has been disconnected."
I kicked the ever-loving crap out of my wool and cursed profusely before regaining my composure. My co-worker seemed more concerned than agitated, and at the very least, authentic in his seeming fear. But this wasn't tornado levels of fear. We'd both seen our fair share of insane storms come across the radar that we knew could produce tornadoes. Worse yet, we never thought much of them. We'd authorise a text alert, but never, ever would we have to kick in the civil defence sirens. I got a few text notifications from our neighbours asking me to meet them outside. One text chain so eloquently read, "Pff, twisters? Bullshit. It's sunny. I'm going outside to check." Well, I was reading on Facebook that Osama and pals were planning an attack. Osama's dead, jackass. You don't know that. The incoherent hordes of texts coming across my screen from conspiratorial old folk were too much to handle. They seemed to be meeting out in the street to discuss and try to talk over the incredibly loud, insanely persistent air sirens. They just kept chirping. They'd slow down, then ring in your ears all over again. Not wanting to see my neighbours, I turned on my TV and set the channel for the local news. Before I could listen in, I heard a change in tone from the sirens. I mean, they were still absolutely drowning out any and all noises in my house, but I could faintly hear another pitch beneath them, almost like a faint squeal. I shrugged it off, tried to remain nonplussed, and kicked on the aptly titled Early Bird News. Wait, where the hell are the newscasters? Tom and Dana are usually on at 5:30 every morning. On my silver screen was the instantly recognisable channel Newsroom, just minus the news team. Yet the headlines rolled across the screen regardless, some political, others about local events, but nothing mentioning severe weather or these insanely annoying sirens. Frustrated, I went to check on my friends outside, but as I inched closer to my front door, I could hear that immensely irritating pitch beneath the sirens. Curious, I began to take a few steps back and noticed a definitive change in tone. No more faint garbles beneath the sirens, just the roar of that oh so annoying. Another text notification caught my glimpse on the screen. Emergency alert. Tornado warning lifted. All clear to resume your day. Check local media. NWS. I breathed a sigh of relief for just a second, but my anxieties weren't assuaged. In fact, I was more suspicious than before. The tornado warning was lifted, but the air sirens kept howling, this time tangibly louder. I could just tell. Another text notification. Has anybody seen Marcy? She was supposed to come back inside for tea, but she's not answering her phone. Really? Same with Susan. I'll go out and see what's going on. Seconds later, that hissing, awful pitch beneath the sirens kicked back in, this time far stronger than before. In fact, this time, I realized it wasn't just a frequency, nor a pitch. I walked over by the door to get a better listen, and it hit me. They're the screams of my neighbours, and the sirens are meant to drown them out. It's been another 23 hours, and I eagerly await a news broadcast or a text notification, or even a tweet explaining what's going on. My migraine is so excruciating now that I feel my head might explode. I wonder, more worryingly, what became of my neighbours, my co-workers, and my friends. But until the maddening sirens come to a close, I'm not opening my front door, as much as I want to escape the grating sound. I'm not venturing out there, lest I dare become another scream beneath the sirens. I think back to my phone conversation with my co-worker, who won't pick up his damn phone. Only now do I realise that I think he'd said, "They're coming." I just want to thank Big Ol' Brew for allowing me to narrate that story. If you liked what you heard here, head over to their Reddit page and show them some love. I'll leave a link for the original story in the description below. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as always, stay tuned for one more nightmare.